Imagine gazing up at a starry night sky. The vastness of space and the twinkling stars seem to exist independently of us, their observers. This intuitive understanding of an observer-independent reality forms a cornerstone of physics. It suggests that the physical laws governing the universe and the objects within it exist regardless of our perspective or motion. Observer independence is a powerful concept. It asserts that the laws of physics are universal. These laws hold true whether you are standing still on Earth or traveling at near light speed in a spaceship. This principle is fundamental to our understanding of the cosmos. It allows us to study and make predictions about phenomena occurring far away in space and time. We can trust that the laws governing a distant galaxy are the same laws we observe here on Earth. This universality is crucial for the coherence and predictive power of physics. However, our everyday experience seems to contradict this notion of observer independence. We experience time as a flowing river, constantly moving from the past, through the present, and into the future. This subjective experience of time, where our now feels unique and constantly shifting, presents a fascinating puzzle when we consider the broader picture of a universe governed by observer-independent laws. To reconcile the observer-independent laws of physics with our experience of time, we need to shift our perspective. We need to step outside our everyday intuition and consider the universe as a four-dimensional entity, encompassing not only the three dimensions of space, but also time itself. This 4D perspective leads us to the concept of the block universe. Imagine, for a moment, that all of time, past, present, and future is laid out before you like a vast, intricate sculpture. This sculpture represents the entirety of spacetime, and within it, every event that has happened is happening, and will happen is already fixed. In this 4D block universe, there is no universal now. Just as there is no absolute here in space, there is no single point in time that is objectively present for everyone. Instead, each observer has their own personal now, determined by their specific location in spacetime. Think of it like watching a film strip. The entire film exists simultaneously, but as you watch it, you experience each frame sequentially, one after another. In a similar way, although all of time exists at once in the block universe, we experience it as a linear progression because we are confined to move along our own individual timelines within this larger structure. The concept of the 4D block universe might seem strange, but it is a natural consequence of our best understanding of physics, particularly Einstein's theory of relativity. Relativity tells us that time is not absolute, but is relative to the observer's frame of reference. Imagine two observers, one standing still on Earth and the other traveling in a spaceship at high speed. According to relativity, each observer will measure time passing at a different rate. This is not just an illusion. Time really does pass slower for the moving observer relative to the stationary one. However, and this is crucial, even though the observers experience time differently, the laws of physics that govern their realities remain the same. The equations of motion, the laws of gravity, and all other physical principles hold true for both observers, regardless of their relative motion. This universality of physical laws is deeply embedded in the fabric of the 4D block universe. It tells us that although our individual perspectives on time may differ, the underlying reality of the universe is a single, consistent structure governed by a unified set of rules. The 4D block universe presents a compelling picture of reality. It offers a framework where the laws of physics apply universally, regardless of an observer's relative motion or position. However, it also challenges our intuitive understanding of time as a flowing river, constantly moving from the past to the future. In the block universe, there is no flow of time. All moments, past, present, and future, exist simultaneously. The common perception of a unique now, a special moment that is constantly shifting from the past into the future, is an illusion. Think of a loaf of bread. The loaf represents the entirety of time, and each slice represents a moment in time. Just as all the slices of bread exist simultaneously, all moments in time coexist in the block universe. There is no single slice that is objectively now. This challenges our ingrained sense of time. We feel like we are moving through time, that the present moment is constantly slipping away as the future rushes towards us. However, from the perspective of the block universe, this sense of flow is an artifact of our consciousness, not a fundamental property of time itself. Section 5. Experiencing time within a timeless universe. If all moments in time already exist in the block universe, then what about free will? If the future is already written, are we just puppets following a predetermined script? This is a common question, but it arises from a misunderstanding of what the block universe implies. The block universe doesn't negate free will, it simply presents a different perspective on time. Our choices and actions are still part of the block universe, just like every other event. Imagine you are reading a novel. The entire story from beginning to end is already written in the book. However, this doesn't mean that the characters in the story lack free will. Their choices and actions, although predetermined from the perspective of someone reading the completed novel, are still meaningful within the context of the story itself. Similarly, our lives are embedded within the grand narrative of the block universe. While our past, present, and future may all exist simultaneously from a certain perspective, our subjective experience of time, of making choices and experiencing their consequences, is still very real. Section 6. The physicality of our temporal experience. How then do we reconcile the seemingly static nature of the block universe with our very real experience of time as a dynamic, flowing entity? The answer lies in understanding that our experience of time is not a direct perception of some fundamental flow of time, but rather emerges from the physical processes occurring within our brains and bodies. Our brains are constantly processing information from our senses, forming memories, and making predictions about the future. This intricate dance of neural activity creates our internal subjective sense of time passing. Imagine a row of dominoes falling one after another. Each domino represents a moment in time, and the falling motion represents the progression of time as we experience it. However, just as the dominoes themselves are static objects, the moments in the block universe are not flowing anywhere. It is the causal chain of events represented by the falling dominoes that creates the illusion of movement. Similarly, our experience of time as a flowing entity arises from the interconnected chain of physical processes occurring within our brains and bodies. These processes, although embedded within the static structure of the block universe, give rise to our dynamic, ever-changing experience of a present moment that constantly shifts from the past into the future. Section 7. Untangling proper and coordinate acceleration. To fully grasp the relationship between our experience of time and the block universe, it's helpful to delve into the distinction between proper and coordinate acceleration, particularly within the framework of general relativity. This distinction helps clarify how different observers can perceive time differently, while still adhering to the same universal laws of physics. Proper acceleration is the acceleration an object experiences as measured by an accelerometer on the object itself. Imagine an astronaut in a spaceship. If the astronaut feels themselves being pushed back into their seat, they are experiencing proper acceleration. This type of acceleration is absolute. It is independent of any reference frame. Coordinate acceleration, on the other hand, is the acceleration of an object as seen by an observer in a particular coordinate system. Unlike proper acceleration, coordinate acceleration can be misleading. An object can have a non-zero coordinate acceleration, even if it is not experiencing any forces. For example, consider a stationary observer on Earth watching the astronaut's spaceship accelerate away. From the Earth observer's perspective, the spaceship is undoubtedly accelerating. However, from the astronaut's perspective, they are at rest, and it is the Earth that is accelerating away from them. This difference in perspective highlights the relative nature of coordinate acceleration. It depends on the chosen frame of reference. Proper acceleration, however, remains the same for all observers, regardless of their relative motion. This distinction is crucial for understanding how different observers can perceive time differently, while still agreeing on the fundamental laws of physics. Section 8. Reconciling the block universe with our experience. So how does all of this relate to the block universe? The block universe model doesn't contradict our experience of time, it simply provides a broader context. It tells us that while we experience time as a linear progression from past to future, this is just one particular perspective within a larger, timeless reality. Our brains, as products of evolution, have developed to perceive and interact with the world in a way that is conducive to survival. Our linear experience of time, with its clear distinction between past, present, and future, is incredibly useful for navigating our daily lives. However, This intuitive understanding of time is not necessarily a reflection of the underlying reality of the universe. The block universe model challenges us to expand our view of time, to see beyond our everyday experience and appreciate the elegance and consistency of a universe where all moments coexist. This model doesn't diminish the significance of our lives or our experiences. It simply places them within a grander, more awe-inspiring cosmic framework. Section 9. Conclusion. A unified view of time and reality. The concept of the block universe, while initially challenging our intuitive notions of time, offers a profound and elegant framework for understanding the universe. It allows us to reconcile the seemingly contradictory ideas of observer independence and our subjective experience of time. It tells us that while our individual journeys through time may differ, we are all part of a single, unified reality. This perspective encourages us to embrace the vastness of time, to see beyond the limitations of our everyday experience and appreciate the intricate tapestry of past, present, and future that make up the grand cosmic narrative. The block universe doesn't just change how we think about time, it changes how we think about our place within the universe, fostering a sense of wonder and interconnectedness that resonates deeply with our human desire to understand the cosmos and our place within it.